Question number 32 on the writing and language portion of College Board's Test 5. To make this paragraph most logical, sentence 2 should be placed. So what does sentence 2 say first of all? Though the price for her tickets was higher than that of tickets for comparable shows, it was still affordable to most theater goers and reflected the real cost of the performance. So this is talking about the price of her ticket was higher and it was still affordable. So it's kind of weird where it is now, actually, because if we read where it is now, one innovative playwright has woven the deficiencies of the system into her crowdfunding model. And we also now, this is the intro sentence that talks about the deficiency of the system into the model, because we just got off the fact that there are some deficiencies for crowdsourcing, but now we're going to talk about how one artist has fixed it, or at least tried to fix it. And then we now talk, if we put where it is now, though the price of her ticket was higher than that of tickets for comparable shows, it was still affordable to most theater goers. And then read the next sentence, because remember, when we look at where we should place these sentences, it needs to make sense in context of the sentence before it as well as the one after it. Always look for both. So we now talk about the price, but now look what, and we're talking about like why it's justified for the price to be high and things like that, because it reflected the real cost of the performance. And then look at sentence 3. She presented the total cost for producing her play on a crowdfunding site. Now all of a sudden we're going back to step 1. It seems like sentence 2 is like the last step in the process. We're kind of summarizing, it was like affordable, like because it reflected the real cost of performance. It's like, okay. But then now we're talking about, she presented first, it seems like first step, she presented the total cost for producing her play on a crowdfunding site. And look at sentence 4. Then she divided the total cost by the number of people. It's a chain of events. First, then, the result of the calculation was the minimum donor price, and only donors who paid at least the minimum ticket price were allowed to attend the performance. So you see, it doesn't make sense also after sentence 3, just like it doesn't make sense after where it is now after sentence 1. Because after sentence 3 says, she presented the total cost on her site. Though the price were higher than the tickets of comparable shows, it was still affordable and reflected the real cost of the performance. And then we say, then she divided the total cost. We're talking about like the price per ticket before we divided the cost by the number of people she wanted at the place. So it doesn't make sense for B either after sentence 3. It also doesn't make sense after sentence 4, because sentence 4 has a similar problem. Then she divided the total cost by the number of people she expected to attend the performance. And then if you look at sentence 5, the result of the calculation was the minimum donor price. And the minimum donor price was the price for her ticket, and how it was higher than the tickets of comparable shows. So I like on how it's going to be after sentence 5, because we talk about the price of her ticket, which is only discussed and understood, how we got there after sentence 5, that we figured out the minimum donor price and only donors who paid that much money were allowed to watch it. Though this final price, when we look at sentence 2, was higher than that of tickets for comparable shows, it was still affordable. So now that's the final step in this whole process. The answer that makes sense logically, where we put this price and how it was justified and why it makes sense and why that price was worthwhile, was going to be after sentence 5, the last time we talk about how we derived the price of the ticket. Answer number 32 is going to be D.